I didn't press the button. How did I?
Ooh.
You know what? No intro today because I've lost my mind. We'll run the regular intro, but oh no, we still need to share it to people. So there you go. I am crazy. Here we go with the rap intro. Hey guys, sorry I'm totally out of it. There's no Trey. Genesis here. She's amazing, and I am trying to get it to go. I promise I'll get my brain around things. We'll do the intro again. Here we go. Are you looking for a different kind of podcast? How about informative and clean? It will make you laugh. Scout and Trey, yeah, that's what we do. We got a little funny thing, keeping it true. Hey, we take your topics and all your ideas and bring in a guest and we answer them there. Then we make a freestyle rap and do it for you. Yeah, that's what we do. Yeah, that's what we do. Yep, flows to you, flows to you. This is what we do now. This is what we do. Say it flows to you, flows to you. This is what we do now. This is what we do. Say it flows to you, flows to you. This is what we do now. This is what we do. Say it flows to you, flows to you. Well, hello guys. How are y'all doing? Hello, Genesis.
Hey.
Say hi to you for real this time, so I don't look totally confused like I was 5 seconds ago because I didn't press the go live button because
Hey, you know how it is. Sometimes we have, some off moments, some off days. I can relate because when I woke up, I realized that my workout class was starting and I missed my workout class. And I'm like, woo, it really took me out of my ringer.
that's frustrating. I'm sorry that happened. Yeah, no, I know. I take mini naps, and so I'm always wondering what's happening in that situation. So hello, Mr. Jaime Pina. I hope you're having a good day. Hi, and then he says hi to you too.
Oh, hi, May.
So, and then you put lots of comments. I was gonna say like there's a wonderful lady named Genesis in the thing. She's killing it. You're gonna win a commenter of the day,
Whoop, whoop.
so that's gonna be fun. Your own comments to your own show. But anyways, so we start with headlines of the week. Do you have a headline of the week or a headline that you haven't shared before on the show? So it doesn't matter. Something that sounds really cool, but it doesn't have to be. I'll start. Mine will be. Uh, I had gourmet ravioli yesterday.
I had mac and cheese with summer sausages today.
Nice, nice.
Yeah. Trying something different. And I was hungry. So it was like either cereal or this because what's the point? I already missed my hour and a half workout class. So I'm like,
Oh,
ugh.
there you go. So is that gonna be your head? What's gonna be your headline of the week though? Mine is I had gourmet raviolis by a gourmet chef, and I'll tell you the story in a second. Your turn.
Okay. Ooh, now I'm stumped. I had a lady on my podcast that sung at Carnegie Hall.
Nice. All right. Um, the truth, guys, is I had frozen raviolis in the freezer. I took those bad boys, added some zucchini, some mushrooms, and my own gourmet tomato sauce, and then I made a garlic grilled chicken. Chopped that bad boy up and had herb, honey, garden raviolis, and so. That's what I made for myself. I'm a gourmet chef. I've been paid to do people's weddings and whatnot, so I can say that. But I'm not, fancy. I'm just me. But I wish I had a better story. I have tons of them. I just my brain's not. Oh yeah. I'll tell you it in a second. All right, go for it.
Yeah, so I really had this lady. She was phenomenal. Her name was Monique McDonald, and just her background was just so amazing. So she opened up and shared her personal experience and what led her up to singing at Carnegie Hall, the Kennedy Center in Washington, and just chit chatting with her for like 30 minutes. Coffee chat style was amazing, y'all. I was like, oh my God. And when I was reading her bio, because I try not to read bios beforehand because I like to be surprised. So when I was reading it, I was like, damn.
I wish I could say that I tried to not read bios because I'm want to be surprised. I'm just not that organized. I mean, in most situations, I invited the person on the show because I know what they do, but still, yeah. That's awesome, though. That sounds like a great show. Um, that is a very, very cool. Yeah, I think it's always fun. Oh, yeah. So, was it yesterday? So, my son has converted my bedroom into what he calls a bowling movie theater restaurant, where you can bowl, watch movies, and eat popcorn because to him that's a restaurant. Um, and so he has his own personal popcorn popper, so he can make popcorn for everybody in the house if he wants, which happens often. And it ends up just being in our vacuum cleaner. So there's that. Um, but then we had picked up some extra um, bowling pins for his bowling alley, so we have tons of bowling pins
Yeah.
now. And yeah, so but he's been all about moving his 9 month year old sister
Mm.
around, and I don't like that, right? So he we were in the movie theater. I was on the bed. I heard him move the sister. I went, son, put the sister down, and I started to get up so I could pick up the crying girl, and he jumps, runs full speed into the wall. His gives his I'm not even playing. It's hilarious because it looks terrible. He has a black eye now because he ran right into the doorknob.
Oh, wow.
And I'm just like, I sent this to my mom, and I'm like, I promise you, it was a doorknob. He just it's just a doorknob just right in his eyeball. It's like, come on, man. He has a little cut and everything. It's rough.
Oh, no.
But he was just afraid. Like, I don't know why he's afraid of me. I'm definitely not scary, and so I'm the most non aggressive person in our household. Mom, if it was mom, that'd be a different situation. He'd probably get a spanking for throwing sister or something like that. But me, I'm a big guy, so my spankings and those kind of things happen if they need to, but they don't because I'm a big guy.
So, what
Um,
happened when your wife saw his black eye?
yeah, I don't know why I'm echoing. I wish I knew. I definitely don't know. So let's see here. Yeah, let's see here. Is that better? Better. I don't know why I'm echoing though.
I can't hear the echo on my end.
Yeah, I hear it on my end, but I don't know why. Oh, I know why.
Technical difficulties, y'all. Please
No,
stand by.
that's not it. I know. I'm all kind of issued filled today.
Hey, it's Thursday. Make sure you give yourself grace and mercy. You go. You gotta love technology. Sometimes it just does weird things.
Yeah. You have your headphones in, right?
I do.
And you don't have anything playing in the speakers or anything?
No.
Okay, just checking. Okay. Um, what can I do? Let's try this. So tell me a fun story while I pretend to do something right now.
So, another fun story.
Oh, was that your same episode, your Excellence episode? The lady you were talking to, or is that a different episode?
A different episode.
Yeah, that episode looked really fun too. The episode you just did yesterday, day before
Monday, the radio
Monday.
show.
Yes.
Yeah, so I had Dr. Kiana K. Ralph and Cedric Scott Jr., and he has a master's in education. We did my radio show, and the theme was Black Excellence, and it was my first time ever doing co-host on my radio show. So it was cool because they come from different walks of life. They were really repping Pittsburgh, and I'm like,
Nice.
hey, Texas in the building, y'all, Texas. And we just brought like really a really dynamic and powerful conversation with a lot of diversity, versatility, and etc., where we were shedding light, because the mission there is still to educate, inspire, and motivate, and just have courageous conversations and talk about things that you wouldn't ordinarily get to talk about. And the cool thing, when I initially met them, we met in the Clubhouse streets. So for those of you on the Clubhouse app, you'll know what
Okay,
I'm
yeah.
talking about.
I was like, "What?" You're like, "Yeah, I didn't under." Yeah, I didn't.
That's what they
understand what's
call
happening.
them, the Clubhouse streets, or you're like, I've seen you in the hallway.
That's hilarious. That's very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds good. I was like, when I was laughing. I was laughing because I'm like, what would if I were to call in and be an encouragement? How would this white guy be effectively helpful towards black excellence? But then I realized easily, I'll tell you right now, easily anybody that's most of the people that have employed me as a musician were amazing entrepreneurs that were black, like my friend Saul Paul, who's amazing. He tours the country. There's just I could think of, or even speech from Arrest Development. I could think of just amazing friends who have done amazing things, and people just wouldn't. Well, everybody knows his speeches, but you know what I'm saying. It's just like
Yeah.
it's just funny. It's like, oh yeah, I guess I could talk about all my amazing friends. And my wife is like naming all like every single friend I have. I'm like, yeah, I guess that person counts too, Mom. I don't.
Yeah, you should have
But
called in. We
yeah,
had a lot of different people who were calling in from different backgrounds, different walks of life. Ava Holly, she was representing, so that was my vanilla drop in the building, and we just had that good conversation.
that's
And then,
awesome.
yeah,
All right, so normally we have a quiz here, but we don't have a quiz today. So
womp womp
I know
womp.
uh, I can't, but you can come here. Come here. Okay. Is he going to bed? All right. Good night, buddy. I love you. I love you. Bye. Bye, Mom. Okay. That's what's happening. Sorry, guys. I'm just getting you're getting all my daddy in up in this mix. Okay. So, all right. Here we go. We're gonna play a game, and it's gonna be called "The Worst Questions You've Ever Asked." And pretty much you're going to tell me a worst question since we both do podcasts and have done lots of things with people. What's the most awkward question that you ask somebody, and then me and you, then we'll both decide who had the better answer.
Ooh.
Okay, so we'll start with. Do you want me to start, or you want to start?
Yeah, you could start because I can't think of an awkward question that I asked.
Yeah, yeah. No. I just came up with this game, so I actually don't know. Actually, as I tell you right now, my wife made sure that Dakisa Jaime's wife was in the list of awesome black excellent people. She's a psychiatrist, right? I think yes, something like that. She's amazing, and so, anyways, Jaime's listening, so we can tell her
Oh,
that.
we'll have to send him the link for Black Excellence. He can
Yes.
share with his wife. She may appreciate that.
Yeah, she's awesome. So, all right. So, and then Jaime, if you want, you can chime in here too if you like. But the most awkward question that you asked a guest on a show, this would have to be like last week or 2 weeks ago. There was this amazing lady that I had on the show, and she was talking about how she got the only reason she started her own. She's 20 years old and runs her own design firm, and
Mm.
she has like 6 employees. It's like pretty cool, and she works with all these big companies. But she explained that the reason why is because her mom, because she refused to be a nurse, her mom kicked her out of the house, and so she moved on. So at the end of the show, I asked her, I was like, "So you and your mom are good now?" And she goes, "No, we're not." And I went, "Oh, like that didn't work out the way I expected." Like I expected this awesome story about change, and no, no. And then she goes, "Yeah, my mom, no, that's bad. But me and my dad have a great relationship." And I was like, "He sounds awesome." But I was like, "Oh, come on, Jason, why did you ask that question? I should have done it in the pre-show, and I totally forgot." But yeah, there's my first answer to that. I asked somebody about their relationship with their mother, and found out that it was not good at all.
Okay, so I guess that leaves me. So I had a quadriplegic on
Oh
my
no.
show the other day, and he was telling me about his accident. So after they were playing football. They didn't have any pads on or anything, so just kind of roughhousing. So whenever he said the guy came up, it was like after the play was done, they were getting ready to leave. So then the guy comes up and like I guess like smacks him like that or whatnot. And so he said he heard something pop and he thought it was his collarbone. And then he realized that it was his neck and he had broken 3 vertebrae. So he tried to
What?
raise up his neck. Couldn't nothing else came up like his shoulders or anything. So he tried like a total of 3 times or whatnot. So then I asked him, well, did you ever see the guy like afterwards when that happened, like what did he do, like or whatnot? And he's like, well, fast forwarding, 20, I think he said 20 or 30 years later, like no, I never saw the guy again or whatnot. He may have came to the hospital, but I was like, your whole entire life changes. And he was talking about how he had went out to college and he was all about sports. He thought he was invincible and etc. And I felt like whenever I asked the question, I didn't really know how it was going to be received, but I was asking it from a standpoint to really educate myself and inspire the audience because after all of this stuff has happened, he has now went on to get a doctorate degree, and now he's a doctor. He's doing all these incredible things, motivational speaking, etc. But I wanted to know what happened in that incident because the guy that tackled him. Oh, and then he did say the guy said, "Oh, well, does that play still count the touchdown or whatever?" And I was like, that was what he was worried about after he just tackled you and your neck broke or whatnot. And I was like, that's kind of insensitive. So I wanted to get more because like that would like literally make you mad.
Yeah.
And so he shared that, and just hindsight 2020, just hearing how he became a quadriplegic to all the things that he's doing now, it is inspiring and encouraging. And my only concern was that, oh, I hope he doesn't take this question the wrong way because I wanted to know, like, what did this guy do? What did he say? Like, are y'all talking? Because he
Sure.
changed your entire life.
Yeah. And he answered it good. He didn't go, uh, "I don't want to talk about it," because
Yeah,
that'd be
he
terrible.
Yeah, he did have a good response. It took a while, but then I got what I wanted out of the response, and I felt like it was inspiring and motivational.
Yeah. Jaime has a good one. Here it is.
Mhm.
Okay. No one, uh, no one of on one of our shows. I said that wrong. We have. He was from the UK. My co-host decided he was showing off because of his British accent. It was a cringe. OMG. It was so embarrassing because he wasn't showing off. That's how he talks. That's not awesome. Yeah, I could see how that could go bad. That is not good. But yeah, well, since you're the guest, you win. Good job.
Hey, I think yours was a little bit better because whenever you're like, so are you good with your mom now? And she's like, no.
Yeah, no, I waited to ask like so are y'all fine now? And she's like, we are not fine. And I was like, and she looked really mad. And I was like, oh no, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I understand,
Yeah.
but it was, yeah, that was not good. All right, so you give me a point, I give you a point. Hey guys, in the comments, who wants the most awkward question answered? Is it Genesis? Is it me, or is it even Jaime from the British part? So you'll get a few moments to figure it out. But
I
there
had
you
no
go.
idea Jaime had a podcast though.
Oh, Jaime has lots of podcasts. So he
Ah.
actually does live. Sorry, he does not do podcasts. Before he rebukes me, he does. Web shows, and so
Hmm.
he does a show called the Social Undistancing Show, and then he produces a bunch of other shows. So yes, there's lots of cool stuff that Jaime does. It's pretty cool. He's an awesome guy too. And but yeah, he does live shows, so like these kind of shows.
Oh,
So,
okay.
but yeah, so that is very cool. Let's see, is there anything else that I can do that was supposed to be funny? It's not being funny, but I'm trying. It sounds like you're having a good conversation there in the background.
You can hear
So
my background?
yeah, or
Oh,
it's my
seriously?
it's is it my background? Let me check. Well, no, you had mentioned to me that there was a chance that they were gonna talk loud because they were good friends. I understand. This is
Oh
my
yeah, that's
wife.
why my husband's over
My
there
wife would
in
have to
his
be in the
screen.
backyard if one of my best friends comes in because we're just that loud. Like we just don't even try. It's like, yeah. Well, that was another one today. My son just decided everything was gonna be yelling, so he was just yelling everything. It was like, dude, please turn down the volume. Just a just a little. Oh yeah, and then he was like, I was like, hey, I'm going to Sushi Hana. Okay, you know what Sushi Hana sounds like, right? It sounds like a sushi
Sushi.
place. My son is like, no, Sushi Hana is a barbecue restaurant. I have nothing. It doesn't. I went in. It doesn't look like a barbecue restaurant. And he is 4, so I mean, I guess 4-year-olds make whatever decisions they want. But he does love himself some dumplings, so he was very happy. But anyways, enough on that. So we are going to talk. So when I asked you about what's something we could do for a better year, you just told me about mindset hacks and all kinds of fun stuff, tapping into your potential, finding out your purpose. And I said, hey, you know what? That would be a fun thing to talk about. So why is it? And so then I changed it to hack your mindset because that sounded cool in my head. And so why is hacking your mindset something that could make your year better?
Because if you don't get a hold of your thoughts, then your thoughts are going to get a hold of you.
Ooh,
So you have to change your perspective. You have to get a new focal point and a new vantage point in order to see the results that you want. Because if you are living in fear, if you're living in doubt, if you're living in limiting beliefs and etc., you're not going to achieve, number one, your highest potential. You're not going to fulfill your dreams, goals, and visions because you're allowing negative Nancy to wreak havoc in your mind. And then you are constantly causing yourself to retreat instead of pulling up and progressing because you cannot take those thoughts that you have circling around in your mind that is not conducive to your overall well-being.
yeah. I think one thing when I think about like me with mindset stuff, I'm like, I'm so my brain is full of all kinds of things like chasing children and things like that, and so I think that trying to get my when I saw this, I thought in my head, I need to grab every single part of this to get myself into that because you're right, your negative thinking can really get you down and destroy you. My friend just just a few days ago was told a story about how his whole life was changed when he started doing a he wrote a letter to himself and he read it every single day, the same letter about how he's an amazing husband, because he has bipolar disorder, and so he just wanted to remind himself on who he was, and he reads this letter to himself every single day to remind him of what he is and who he is and what he wants to be. And I was like, man, I really need to get myself in that place where I'm really considering it. Have you considered writing a book on this? Is that consideration, or is that something you've already done? I don't know.
So I have not considered writing a book on it yet. I do teach and coach my clients who are interested in learning how to overcome mindset issues and etc. And the reason why I came to that level is because I went through depression at a young age from being a victim of bullying, then facing systemic racism in corporate America. That's another thing I had to overcome. Then dealing with a grief journey. Grief is a way that it takes you back. And if you don't take a hold of grief, grief could take you back. So I had to get my life back with the passing of my dad. Then recently, my grandmother passed. So they passed 9 months, 5 days apart from each other. So it hasn't even been a year since my dad passed. And now my dad's mother, which is my grandmother, passed. So that, and just going through, life, because life can be a hell of a ride, and it's definitely a roller coaster. You're going to have highs and lows. So I said, what does Genesis need to do to get over these things? And I found it, a lot of my friends were coming to me for advice and etc. And I was just giving away free stuff, and I said, you know what, I'm going to just start coaching clients, because this is one of my purposes. This is what people gravitate to. So to answer your question, no, I have not considered a book. I'm working on a book collaboration right now, but it's not on mindset. But one thing that I do is affirmations. And
Okay.
so reciting my affirmations on a daily basis, and I like to do it in the mirror, because I'm able to say it to myself and look myself in the eye and feel that energy and that vibration and etc. I also journal. Journaling is so
Wow.
powerful. And I recently found out another way to journal based on having someone on my podcast who talked about journaling forward. So he was telling me how he was journaling, and I was telling him a bit about my journaling. And it's really powerful, because whenever you write things down, it's like you're writing your visions down and you're making it plain. And whenever things start to manifest, you could go back and look at what you wrote down and see, like, oh my gosh, I said that I wanted a black Lexus with black interior, black rims, some blue neon lights, and then next thing you know, you're driving and you're like, wow, I wrote this down on November 15, 2020, and it's manifested. I'm driving my car. And that's just an example, y'all.
Yeah. As you just got out of your Mercedes a few seconds ago, to come to the show. So yeah.
I don't
Um,
have a Mercedes, but
okay. Well, your coaching would be going very well if that was. I said my one of my
oh,
best.
it is going well. It is going,
Yes,
but I'm not to
you're
the Mercedes.
responsible.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
To
No,
the,
I'm always gonna have a hoopty. If you give me, $1 billion, I'm not getting a new car. It's just not a thing. I don't like spending money on things. Like I don't like spending money on things. So it's like I get so worried. I just need stuff to save. Like I'm just like,
yeah.
yeah, I don't like spending money. I have so many stories of just like making good moral decisions in my life just because I didn't want to spend the money to make a bad decision. It was just too
Hey,
expensive.
no car note is better than a car note, because when some of my friends told me what they're paying for their car notes, I could not believe it. I said, "What? You
Yeah,
paid that for that?" And not like knocking it, but I was like, "Oh, it feels so good not to have a car note. Like it feels so good not to have."
yeah. I don't think we asked this question last time about the show, but what got you into actual coaching? Um, what actually got you into that?
Just wanting to just help people and just take over from feeling in the slumps, take over from feeling like, oh, I would be forced to go back to corporate America. So I said, okay, what gifts and talents are in my wheelhouse, and what do people come to me for, and how can I monetize that to effectively help people? So I was like, I've done so much stuff for free already, so now I'm going from the free to fee method. And that's how I kind of fell into coaching. I think it was always in me, but I was just never charging for it. And I'm like, hey, I still need a roof over my head, food on the table, and still have to provide for my family. And I feel like sometimes when you give coaching advice and etc. to people, when it's free, they take the advice, but they don't really work hard at it unless
Yeah,
they were to pay for it. So it's like, for example, if you think about a trainer, like if you have a trainer and you're paying this trainer on a monthly basis, you're going to get up and take your high knee to the gym because you're spending money on this trainer and you want to see the results. But if you have somebody that's training you for free, you're like, oh, who cares if I miss a class here and there, because you're not paying for it.
Yep. No, I totally agree with you. I think that's the interesting part is like I've just decided to do the same thing, going from free to fee when it comes to friends. So, instead of just
What?
what, I just decided at this point, if somebody wants to hang out, I charge them. And so that's just delivery fee, hang out with them, drive over to their house fee.
Not in that context. No, I'm talking about in a business context where you're
I know, I'm
taking
being
away.
silly.
Yeah, I know, because I'm like, wait, don't put that out there because I don't want people to think that's what
No,
we're
no,
doing.
that's my life. I've decided to do that. No, I used to always laugh because I've helped lots of people in my life, and there have been many a times where I had no money because I've been a rapper my whole life and not successful. I mean, successful, but not successful enough to pay my rent. And so my friends will always buy me lunch, and I used to always make jokes. I'm like, I guess you're really just paying me to hang out with you right now, and I appreciate it because your boy needs to eat. Um, and so but I agree. I think one of my best friends, he has a very successful coaching business, and he's been mentoring people for years for free. And then he just decided, hey, you know what? I can use all these methods that I already know and be able to expand. And he signs these big contracts helping Latin attorneys and as their success coach, which is insane, right? Like they've spent all these years in college, and this guy, he graduated college, but it's like, but because he knows the information that he knows, he can be the kind of guy that helps these people, and it's an amazing thing to watch. But yeah, I mean, I'm glad that you decided to move towards that because it's like, yeah, I agree. I think that's what I always tell my wife. I'm like, honey, if you want me to lose weight, then I need to pay somebody to help me because you know how frugal I am. I'm like, if I spent money on it, then I have to do it. I don't, I don't want to, lose that. But it's like, I just need to be motivated in that way. But yeah, no, I think that's cool. But yeah,
But then you should think about it this way, like, you should do it for your wife, but then do it for your kids because your kids are a reflection of you and you're building that legacy and stuff. So you could always think about it this way, like what type of activities do my kids want to do that I could do with my kids that is going to help me lose weight, but also get the physical exercise in and something fun to do with my kids. So if your son likes skateboarding, you can skateboard with him, like get him the kid skateboard and you get the adult skateboard or rollerblades or football or different stuff, and that's a way for that you're getting your physical exercise in and you're burning those calories, you're increasing your heart rate and etc., and then your son's having fun too.
yeah, those are great things. Without knowing my family history on that, every time I'm on anything that's unsteady, I will break a bone. And my son is just like me. So being skateboards, we're both going down. It's not even going to make it through. Football, I barely can walk because of years of football. I'm just giving you a hard time. But yeah, you're right. Like, but yeah, those are definitely activities. But I'll tell you right now, it's easy because you're totally right. My son loves Cuckoo Kangaroo. They are a kids rap band, and they do dumb songs like "Everybody Poops" and "Everybody Loves." All I want is pizza, and every single one. I'm not even playing, and they're big on YouTube. Every single one of their songs has a full dance routine to it, a full workout. And for a while there, I woke up every single morning and did 30 minutes of Cuckoo Kangaroo dancing. And your boy my daughter loved watching it, and I need to get myself back into that because he'll do it. My son, once he realizes he's helping me, he is focused. He's like, no, daddy, you stand up, daddy. No, sit down. You need to go, daddy. And I'm like, well, bro, you're 4. I can throw you through the window. I'm not going to, but I could. And my son would love that. He would, as long as the window's open, he would love to be thrown through the window into like a pool or something. That would be all. My daughter would probably think that's pretty cool too. They're both interesting people in that they like to flip. They like to do anything that they can. It's just very funny.
Do y'all have a
But
trampoline?
We all right. So no, we don't have a trampoline. Because our yard, we have about our backyard is about 100 feet by 50 feet. Can you register that?
Yeah,
It's
kinda.
it's a slab of grass. So we're in an apartment, so no trampoline for us. Uh, that's all. Okay, I'm sad now.
Okay. No, no worries. No worries.
Oh, my son's not here. If I start doing that, my son will walk in and be like, "Daddy, Daddy, are you okay? It's okay, Daddy. I love you." Because there were times when I first was raising my child, where when I had just lost my job. Now I'm a stay-at-home dad, and there were definitely days where I would just start crying because I'm just like, am I successful as a person? Like now
It
I'm
was your
stuck.
mindset that was
Yeah,
telling you that.
and my awesome son would come up and go, "Daddy, I love you. Are you okay?" And this is a 1 year old at the time, and I'm just like, I need that. But yeah, you're right. Your mindset is the thing that keeps you. What are some of these wonderful mindset hacks? Now, I'm sorry, I totally got off topic and went to other things, but um,
No worries. Okay, so I revamped them. So I'm going to read you the top 10 that we're focusing on right
all right,
now.
let's do
Are you
this.
ready? If
I
you
am
will.
not ready, but I'm trying.
Okay. So one thing that people will tell themselves is I'm not good enough.
Yep, been there.
Or and then what about if you flip it? If you flip it
Sorry,
around.
my now plan is to answer every single question. I should stop this now. But all right, keep going.
No, but that is the way that you are going to get over it. Whenever you look yourself in the mirror and you talk to yourself and you remove the denial and you say, "Oh wow, I actually say that or I do that," because
Yeah,
then you're coming into a realization with those negative Nancy thoughts, and we're trying to kick negative Nancy to the curb, and
yep,
we're trying to get into positive Patty. So you could say, "I am good enough," and you build upon combating that mindset hack of I'm not good enough. Number two, fear. What if I fail? Because how many times do people want to do something, but then you're thinking, oh, what about if I fail? What about if I don't do it? If something goes wrong, and etc. So all the reasons why you can't do it is playing in your mind, and it's causing you to retreat further and further versus you progressing and just saying, you know what, let me just pull the plug and do it. So, and then these are brief, and I go into further details whenever I do this on via one-on-one coaching. So,
okay.
three, money. Because how many times do people say, "Oh, I don't have enough money," or "Oh man, I could, but the way my checking and savings is set up, I can't really." And you heard that joke before. And then they're like, "Oh, I just don't have the resources." When if you look at it, you just had the resources to go to Mexico. You just had the resources to get your nails done. You just had the resources to go get a Starbucks coffee, and we all know Starbucks is not cheap. So if you stop spending money in the wrong places and you invest it in yourself, you will have the resources. And I love going to Starbucks, but you know what? I don't go there unless I get a gift card now. I don't go there because I was like, I'm not going to be spending money in Starbucks every day because I could be adding that money to a savings account. Or I could diversify putting my money somewhere else where that money will work for me.
Oh wow, that makes sense. That's very cool. And well, I realize you say that, and then I laugh because my son reminds me that I say that all the time. I'm like, we'll go to something. He'll be like, "Oh, Daddy, I want to go to the movies." "Oh, sorry, we can't go to the movies. It's too expensive. We have $0." And I'm just like, I obviously say that way too much that it's a part of his vocabulary.
So yeah, you have to get out of saying that because think about it. You can go to movies, just go during matinee because the tickets are $5, or just go whenever the tickets are dirt cheap. Or you know what? You could tell people, hey, I can't take any monetary payment for this, but you could pay me in gift cards. I accept Starbucks gift cards. I accept movie gift cards or whatnot. And then that way, whenever you do want to do something, you'll be like, oh, let me pull out this gift card that I got. Let me use this.
That's cool. Yeah, that makes more sense to our previous conversation before the show started. Why you were picking a gift card? Now I understand. now it's all. It was like, does she just have like
Just tons of gift cards just sitting in her office? Yes, she does. That's awesome.
Yeah, because sometimes when I do activities, if someone can't actually pay for it, depending on what activity I do, I was like,
Yeah.
oh, you could support me by buying me coffee or tea. You could send me a gift card or etc. because I want to meet people where they're at. But if you have the means to pay for my coaching services and you actually want to overcome your mindset hacks and you want to be in the area that you want to be, not where the world wants you to be, then I'm your gal. But you have to put in the work in order to see the results. I could tell you this all day and long till I'm black and blue. And, it's going to take me a while to get black and blue because I'm a chocolate drop and melanated. But you get the point.
I do get the point.
So then 4,
Oh,
support system.
I'm getting rebuked real quick behind me. That is so unhealthy for the kids, bro. They start thinking about things too, and they can stress about those. That's fair. And again, I find myself rebuked on it because like I'm saying it to try to be to try to explain to him why we can't do something, but they explain that we'll go in a few days. But when I hear him say it, then I go, man, I really don't want to feel the same way I did as a kid when my mom would tell me that we couldn't afford something or we couldn't do that. And I don't want them to think that everything in the world can be happening. Like there was like a video, like some on YouTube where somebody wanted to go to Disney World, but they couldn't afford it because it was too expensive. And so he would just come to me and say, "We can't go to Disney World. It's too expensive, Dad." And I'm like, "That's a true statement, but I want to go to Disney World." Let's. So, anyways, all right. What's our next one?
And thank you, Jaime, for chiming that in because that's also another way. Like, whenever you shift telling your kids that and you see how your kid changes their outlook and their vocabulary and perspective, you're also breaking those generational curses because you said that your mom told you, hey, we can't do this because we don't have the money. But then now you're walking in the same footprints of your mom by telling your son, we can't do this because we don't have money. So you see how it starts to be passed down generational. So
Yeah.
that's also another thing that you need to cut off at the root so it does not get replicated with your kids and their children.
Yeah, it totally makes sense. And I said, I've always been a bootstrap kind of guy, anyways. Like, that's just kind of, I've never, all my successful things is because I didn't think about stuff like that, right? Like, I was just like, I'm going to just do this thing. I don't care if I can't afford to do it. I just did it. I released albums because I just made it happen. And so, but it's funny. It's like, you're right. I said that, that has been rebuking me lately. And so both of y'all are on point. Your dude needs to remember what he used to do. So, all right, what's our next move?
Whoop, whoop. So 4, support system. It may not always be family and friends because how many times do we start a new project and we want our family and friends to jump on board, but our family and friends aren't our target audience. They're going to buy from us once to support us, but then they're not going to buy again, and whenever you're doing something they may want it for free. Okay, how many times? So my book right here, Chocolate Drop in Corporate America. So when this book came out, some of my family members, they wanted it for free, and I'm like, no, you're going to pay for it. Like, you're not going to get it for free. Like, I didn't get the book for free. I had to pay an author's price to get a bulk of them. Sorry. So that's 4. So you have to earn your support system, know who your tribe is, and are you effectively tapping in with your tribe. 5, knowledge. Are you the SME, subject matter expert, or do you need to spend more time learning? Because if you're not learning, you're not growing. So you could say, "Oh, hey, I'm doing this, that, and etc." But if you're not working on perfecting your craft and building yourself up so you can be that SME where people know, okay, Scouta does this, so I know I'm going to go to him for music, beats, and whatever because he's a subject matter expert in his field, and when it comes to these areas, he got me, you know?
Yeah, that totally makes sense. And sometimes you forget that when you're in the place, you forget that you are a subject matter. You know what I'm saying? Like there are
Yeah.
things that we forget that we even know how to do well. And so, yeah, there have been times where I'm like, well, you actually can do full catering and done that a many a time. You could give some advice on how to be successful in that because you've already done it. But it's like, that was ages ago, but I still knew how to do it. You know what I mean? And it's interesting. Chase had something to say here. He was, I assume, number 3 is him. So,
Oh, it looks like a heart. Like, so if you look
oh, is
at
that a
it,
heart? Oh,
yeah, it's like a
oh,
sideways
that's
heart.
sweet. Oh, I thought he was saying like number three is his issue.
Unless he
But
says less than three. So it could be less than three. It could be a heart. However, and that goes with mindset. So what is your focal point, and are you seeing it from Chase's vantage point, or are you seeing it from your vantage point? Because me looking at it, I've used that before, and from my vantage point, it looks like a heart because I've used that as a text heart before emojis became popping.
I've never
But
seen
to
that.
him, it's like this is like a less than sign. Well, flip it around because like the L and then a three, so it could be less than three or
Yeah, I don't know. Chase, please pop in and explain to us what's happening there.
so
Um,
so
okay, what do we got
six.
next?
We're on six. My career is stagnant. How many times have you felt like your career was stagnant and it wasn't going anywhere? But ask yourself, was your career stagnant because you made it that way because you didn't step outside of your comfort
Yep.
zone, you didn't challenge yourself, and you didn't do what you needed to do to show your employer that hey, I could take on more. I could get my base job done, but I could do stretch activities and etc. Because whenever a new position is coming up, if they don't see you really having that tenacity and that drive, do you think they're going to tap you and say, hey, Genesis, I have this amazing job over here. It pays 30K more. Do you want it? No, they want to see what type of work ethics does Genesis have? What type of drive does she have? Is she willing to step out of her comfort zone and take on more responsibilities and etc.? And think about it this way, leaders. What do leaders do? Think about that.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
thinking.
Your answer.
Leaders inspire other people to get the job done.
What is like their personality trait and characteristics?
I, well, I think they switch all around, but I think some are carrying of people, some want to be are successful like go getters, so they want to make things happen. Um, yeah, those are my two answers.
So if they're go-getters, they're not sitting back waiting for somebody to bless them with the opportunity. They're
Yeah.
creating the opportunity. So if they don't see a seat at the table for them, they're diverting to create their own table and pull up their own seat.
Oh well. Yeah,
So
that makes
that's a
total sense.
mindset hack.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
So
I've
seven.
totally been in that place. I'm still in that place all the time. Like I'll be like, well, I wasn't successful at this thing because I didn't do anything, or I sat on it, or I did the thing. But it's like, oh, I tried so many years ago, and you can always you can always say that one time I did try, then I failed. So why should I try ever again? And that definitely I could see how getting out of that loop would be an effective way to be successful.
But it's progression over perfection. Yes, you may try something and you may fail, but ask yourself, did you put your all in when you were trying that thing? Or did you try it for a minute and you just try to, look at it at a surface level, but you didn't really go deep diving to ensure that you were strengthening yourself, you were redefining your skills.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, seven, negativity. Where is the negative will and emotions coming from? So this step is when you do the internal work and you really ask yourself, why do I have these negative thoughts? Is it what my parents poured into me? Is it what society poured into me? Is it from toxic relationships that I've had in the past? Is it from insecurities that I faced, whether they were from an employer that told me that I was never going to be anything, whether it was from negative people that came into my life for a season that planted that seed? You have to ask yourself, where do those negative emotions and will take root? And how can I overcome that? So that's a mindset hack. And these are very high level because I can't give all my juiciness away
Yeah,
because
please don't, please don't.
that's why I
I
do
don't want that.
one-on-one coaching because it's personal to each one. So, eight, who am I? If you don't know who you are, you're going to fall victim to what everybody else tells you or what the world says about you. So you have to be secure in yourself and know who is Scouta. So if I were to ask you that, who are you?
And I've been rebuked for this first all the time because I always answer the wrong answer because I always bring up that I'm a stay-at-home dad, and my friends who like are like, you're trying to be successful at things, don't bring that up because you're more than that. and you put yourself in a box, that you're more than that. It's not like you're just sitting around. Like, you can be creative. But I'm a creative individual that has been a rapper my whole life, and I've done a lot of really cool things, and I've helped a lot of people build their own businesses and help people. And I'm a loving dad and a pretty cool dude, and I can freestyle about anything.
So this is what you say. I'm a rapper, business, a successful entrepreneur, or you could say I'm a rapper, business enthusiast, husband,
Nice.
and dad. You need to like put your power statements, put those first, and then the rest at the end. Not taking emphasis away from you being a dad or you being a husband, because that's very important to you and that's part of who you are. But in order, you have to learn how to sell yourself effectively. So when someone asks you that, get your elevator pitch ready and say this thing and make it so impactful that it convinces them before it convinces you. But then also be real and genuine with yourself, because you aren't just a stay-at-home dad. You aren't just a husband. So you have to get yourself outside of that box and remove all of those bondages, remove those strongholds, and remove anything that is causing you to feel like, oh man, I'm just this, I'm just that. When in actuality, you're multifaceted, you're versatile, and you have a lot of things that are going on. So
Yeah.
start believing it and walk it like you talk it.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
no,
now,
I've
no, go
done
ahead.
like I laughed because in March I did this. I did South by Southwest, and they talked about. I got to go to these really cool meetings where you got to hang out with all these. Like, pretty much, I got this one where I got to hang out with some major independent producers of films, and there I am in this thing, and you have to do your pitch, and I have no idea what I'm doing because this is not my thing. But so I do my pitch, and it sounds just trashy. And the lady rebukes me. She's like, "Yeah, dude, you need to have your stuff better." And so, luckily, we had to do the pitch like 3 more times, and so I got it down after the third time. But I was like, "Man, I just really, yeah, it's makes sense. Put yourself in a place where you can be successful."
And you start practicing that. And so once you know who you are fully, then you get connected with the right people. And when you're connected to the right people, they are a reflection of you and vice versa. So have you heard the saying, tell me who your friends are and I'll show you who you are?
Yes, I've heard that before.
That is so true, because if you're the smartest one in your tribe, it's time to elevate. If you're the only one in your tribe that is making boss moves, it's time to elevate. Millionaires hang out with millionaires. Billionaires hang out with billionaires. Sometimes they hang out with other people, but when you're trying to reach to higher levels, you need to go with people who has not only been where you are, but are doing the damn thing.
Okay, I'm gonna go cry real quick. Just give me a second. After the show, I'm just gonna go cry for an hour and
No,
realize. No, I'm just being silly.
it's no, and I didn't realize that until I started hanging out with like some powerhouses, and they told me that, and I had to wake up and smell the coffee, smell the roses, and I was like, that is so powerful. Like if you pay attention, like those certain people, they don't have time for nonsense because they're trying to tap into stocks, bonds. They're trying to buy real estate. They're trying to invest. They're trying to make their money work for them. And it's not always about money, because if you were to pass tomorrow, you can't take all this materialistic things and put it in the coffin. But we realize that we do need money to survive and for us to live the life that we want to live and provide for our family and etc. So,
Okay, let's keep going.
9, where do I start? Okay. And then 10, not enough time.
You're like, I don't need to explain that. Dude,
Yeah.
just start.
And then 10, not enough time.
Oh, yeah. No. Uh, Again, another one that I'll say to my son, give me a second. He goes, no seconds, no seconds. You do now. You play a game now, and I'm like, you're right. I'm sorry. Here we go. Play the game. Oh, let's. Here's a comment from Jaime, which is pretty good. Um, y'all, when it comes to career, you have to advocate for yourself. You aren't going anywhere if you don't tell them. Don't think that you're just going to give it to you for reals.
Yep.
And sorry, my camera's in the way, so I
Is
had
that
to like move
Jaime?
it. Yeah.
Oh, okay, his name came up different. Yeah, that's so true. I advocated for myself in 2020. I spoke up in the vice president's meeting, and 1 week later, I got a bump in my CL from a 15 to a 22 and a $20,000 pay increase.
Yeah. Well, no,
So,
that was one of my favorite stories from last
yeah.
show was you talking about that. It was like, no, you just said something, and it was like, here you go, here's some money, and you're like, thank you, I deserve this. And honestly, you deserved it because you were doing the job for years. But it's crazy how our world works. And
Yeah.
yeah. All right. So
I did a well, let me chime in really quick. So I
yeah,
did
do
like
your thing.
a solo episode on my podcast, and I called it Put Some Respect on My Check, because you have so many people out here who are doing incredible things, but people, they want to respect you. Well, why don't you respect me enough to pay me what I deserve? And then you have to ask yourself, how much longer am I going to keep making them money but then not seeing the fruits of my labor? So then you have to make a decision. Okay, well, if you don't want to pay me the money over here, I could go over here where someone else knows what I bring to the table. They value me enough, and they're going to give me X amount of money. So sometimes I feel like, being a millennial, like a lot of my friends, like staying at a company for 5 years is a career. Like they stay there 5 years and they move on. And so there's like a running joke that says, where the money resides, where the money resides. And whenever I was telling him, oh, I've been at this company for 7.5 years, this Fortune 500 oil and gas, they're like, no, you did your 5 years, you're vested. Now it's time for you to dip. But then I was thinking about longevity, um, pension, because it was the oil and gas company I was working with was the only one that had a pension on top of a 401k and all of those things. But I said, you know what? My overall quality of life, mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually, if I don't feel happy here, then I'm not going to thrive, because I already have resentment inside of me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just want to say that.
No, no. Yes, please. And if you'd like to know more, make sure you pick up her book. Chocolate Shop in corporate America. Available anywhere you look for books, right? Pretty much Amazon, everywhere else. And
Yes.
go to her website. Order it from her. It's better.
I'm going to put my website in the chat.
Yeah. Do order the yeah, yeah. You want a book? Just tell me. I'll I'll make it happen, Captain. That is very cool. And I said I tried my hardest to hit those points on me. It's like if I'm going to have somebody talk about mindsets, I should really help my own mindset and really put myself in a successful place. So, and Trey isn't here to stop me. So, yeah, but no, I appreciate it. I think that that's an amazing way to do it. And I said, one of my good friends, the same person I've been talking about the whole time, he for a while there, what he did is he actually made his own book. Here it is, Strong Life Coaching, the magazine. But what it is, it's a bunch of lists of things that he believed in. Let's see, there we go. So it's like ABCs of greatness of giving, and it's just ABCs of it's all these really cool posters, but it's just something that he put together for himself, and he sold this magazine. But it's pretty cool. I said I randomly have the magazine in my stuff, so
That is amazing. Hold up the magazine again in case somebody wants to get a copy.
well, yes, if you need a copy of Strong Life Coach, the magazine, please hit me up in the comments or go to flowsforyou.com and check out all of our stuff and then send me a thing and say, hey, I want one of those books. I know the guy, so he can gladly sell one to you. He has a few books out. He just released his second book. But his plan is to write 7 books, so or more. So, but he's at 2, so in 2 years or yes. Anyways, but yeah. So there you go. That is very cool. Thank you so much for sharing that stuff with me, with us, not just me, uh, with the people in the internets. Is there anything else that you want to focus on or just talk about real quick? Tell people about what you're doing or your coaching or whatever you want to talk about at this point.
So I'm actually gonna have a master class on rising above limitations and breaking barriers on October 4th, and it is on my Facebook profile. That class is a paid course, so it's only $60, which is very cheap to get the meat and potatoes so you could get started on your journey. So if you want to learn more on how to rise above limitations, break down those barriers, because we all have some type of barrier that has limit us, then tap in with me. You could also go to my Hello LLC briefcase. So it has all of the info that I am working on right now. So the podcast shows that I do for myself, the podcast shows that I do for the CEOs who hire me to host their shows. Um, I have a lot of things that are going on, and I'm just so grateful and thankful to God that He has, blessed me to just really ignite in my voice. So I tell people, had it not been for corporate America and the BS that I went through, I wouldn't be where I am today, because it really strengthened me to really be bold and unapologetic, because there's so many people who are building other people's dreams, visions, empires, that they forget to tap into who they are and build their own empire to leave that legacy. So the one question I want to ask you all is, what do you want people to say about you when you leave the earth? And
Yep.
think about it that way, and then reverse engineer it so you could make sure that you are planting the right seeds now so they could take root and you could reap that abundant harvest. You may not necessarily see that harvest, but if you have children, that harvest is going to be passed down to your children. Those children of yours are going to see the legacy that you created, and they're going to know the foundation that you built, and then they're going to be able to pass that on. So think about those that are coming besides and behind us, and let that be your motivation to strive for excellence and to combat systemic racism, combat social injustice, and remind yourself that your voice, there's power in your voice, there's power in your storytelling, and you are enough. But you have to see yourself for you and really change your lens. Because if I take off my glasses, I know that Scout is there, but I can't see him clearly because my lenses that help me see effectively are off. So whenever I put on my lenses that are there to help me, then I have more clarity and vision to make out Scouta's facial features and recognize him more. So ask yourself, what type of lenses are you looking out? Whether you wear glasses or you're using them with your perfect 20/20 vision. So if your vision is skewed, then your overall perspective is going to be skewed. Your mindset is going to be skewed. So think about it that way.
Yeah, that's amazing. As you were even saying that, it reminded me of something I've been considering this week. In that, the big news has been, well, in my world, the big news has been that Marvel is suing all the people that created all the different things so they can keep their copyrights for Iron Man or all the different Marvel characters. And what happened is the families put in a countersuit to get the rights. Well, they're like, but they were working for us at the time, and so there's nothing that there's nothing. It's our stuff because they were working for us at the time. But it's like, it's crazy to think about these amazing things were made for a company, and while this person in theory could have, somebody like Todd McFarlane, where he was working for Marvel and then went out and did his own thing, and you could do it, but it's very hard to believe in yourself at that point. But it's like, what legacy you're leaving for others, and so they're not going to lose those characters, Jaime. There's no way that they'll win that suit. The only reason they did the suit like that was so they can so the families would be able to settle, but the rights they would get would actually only be writer's credit rights, and that's like $5,000 per movie. So there's nothing that the people can really do, but that's what they're fighting for, is that right. So yeah, okay. Normally I put it up there. I don't know. He say that, but watch it happen. It's not going to happen. So anyways, if the family owned the rights to Iron Man, they're definitely not going to be able to produce a movie. So it's like they just won't do it. So anyways, I go off on my own tangents. But yeah, no, I really appreciate you spending your time talking about that. And hey, do you have that list digitally? Can you send that list to me?
I don't have
Okay,
it.
don't worry about it. No, I was gonna say right now so I can add it into make sure I have the top 10 in the rap. So, but don't worry
Oh,
about
I
it.
could just recite them for you really quick, just
Okay, I'm not
briefly.
gonna remember, but try. Go.
Okay, so one, I am not good enough. Two, fear, what if I fail? Three, money, not having the resources. Four, support system. Five, knowledge. Six, my career is stagnant. Seven, negativity. Eight, who am I? Nine, where do I start? And 10, not enough time. I just
Okay.
condensed it without the extra additage.
No, you're fine. All right, so I'm gonna make up a rap using all these things that we talked about and
Whoop, whoop.
how I feel about everything that happened. And is there anything else you'd like me to make sure I add?
I just want you to make those boss moves, Scouta, and see yourself as a masterpiece because you were created for greatness and it's time for you to ball out with your purpose.
Yes.
And then you could do my pop, prepared on purpose.
Oh, that's gonna happen. You just made your chorus happen. So here we go. We're gonna put this bad boy up. Oh, let me close that. And I need to get all my things together here. The joys of being the only producer on your show. There it is. And here we go. Can you hear that?
I can.
You gotta pop, put it together with prepared. Only if I'm standing, cause I never know where I'm gonna be if I know what I'm doing on purpose. Looking for the people, cause they still can't even work it, understand. Life is amazing, I got a plan. Only if I can't get it back, and now I overcome. Now I overcome bass drums, melodies. Did you understand what I gotta ever see? It's only light for the time, but now we go. I wasn't talking about this life, and now I know. Talking about my son and how things are too expensive. Realize that I'm holding them down. I don't want to be that dude feeling the sound. I don't want to get it back and running around. I don't want him to think that his dad can't succeed. Only if I can't be the one that I believe in. And if I'm running, cause people they always see in. Looking for the light time, the dream seeking. I am looking for the light time. I got my beat cause my flow is something else fine. I know sometimes we say that we are not enough. Good enough. If we can't break it, it's only tough. But you gotta change it around and be positive. Get rid of the negative and come back through. And now I see it. Number two was that fear. What if I fail and I could never stand near? I've been that dude, thinking that I'll never succeed. And if I do, people will drag me down and cancel me. That's okay, only if I can't pray. And we talk about money, already said that. Hey, my son, he's always like, Dad, you know that it's too expensive us to do this. Oh, and I'm like, oh, bro, I'm so sorry, yo. I'm gonna cry in the closet now I go. And only if I can't see my support system, I'm calling my homies and thinking, do you want to listen? Yes, you're not a millionaire in there. You're more like a 10 millionaire heir. And I'm like, where we going if we fear it up? Now I know sometimes we can't give it up, but we're stagnant in your career. Like it's not the same. Like you never succeed and never lose your brain. And understand that it's you on the step. You're the one that has to speak out and make a rap. Get it down time like the right fine dine. And negativity, man, that stuff's on my mind. Start doing your affirmations and go. Or write a paragraph about how amazing you are, yo. Don't be afraid. Say who I am. Who am I? If I break with the plan, you're successful. A lover, a real love city. And if I can't break it because I gotta succeed. And then we say, where do I start? Well, it's right now. Don't stop making yourself excuses right now. And get it up, stand up, and feel it right through. Then you're looking back at the things you keep it through. I do not have enough time. Yes, you do. I didn't have enough money to be a rapper, dude, but I made it happen. And only if I never seen, recorded a whole album and I'm waiting for me in 2 weeks. And I sold that junk. I never rearranged. Then I kept on doing it over and over and over again. And yeah, not a million people heard it or anything, but that's okay because I ain't even working. Again, it says pop, prepared on purpose. Only if I can't break down, now I'm working. I thank you. I know I'm a masterpiece. Only if I can't break it down like Master P. Oh no, I guess I'm done with this rap flow. Here I go. Only if I can't let it go. Everybody, yes, we done, and that's it. There's my rap song, so I gotta spit.
Boom! Dropping bars.
That was very helpful. The list was very helpful. As you see, if I have points, I can stick to it. But I appreciate that. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed that silly rap. And actually, what I'll do is I'll actually make a snippet for you so you can just have it. So of the rap. So
That would be so awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I figured I would just type them so you have your
that
points.
was very, very helpful. I said I was joking with Trey. I was like, when I was like, oh, I'm gonna miss you today. But the truth is that Genesis could do both of our jobs better than us. So
No, don't say that. I guess it's all my corporate America experience because I told you I started over twice in my career to climb the corporate ladder. So being an administrative assistant helped me. So now when I do my own business, I do a lot of the admin stuff, not the techie stuff, but the admin stuff.
yeah.
And then starting off as an imaging clerk, whenever you scan papers all day, that is a very tedious job. And, just working your way up and then leaving, going to another company and having to start all the way over and work your way up again. It teaches you some things.
Oh, I bet, and it's amazing how it all works out. And so again, thank you so much for being on the show again. And again, I know we can find another reason to have you on again. And so, but I really appreciate. Sorry, Trey wasn't here. It's not you. It's him. He had to go to a bachelor party. It's more important than taking care of our fans. But whatever, Trey. Just gonna throw you out there and say that. I'm just playing. Anything else? Hey guys, if you want to check out the show, make sure you go to flowsforyou.com, an amazing website. Also, I forgot to do this last week. If you're looking for an amazing website and you want it designed by professionals and don't want to go to a design firm, then you should go to nomadweb.design. It's an amazing place. They created our website and they create very professional websites for a low price compared to firms. It's still a nice price because you're getting a quality product. And so go over to nomadweb.design if you're looking for an amazing website for your new business. Also, we have a Flows For You everything. So if you go to Flows For You at Twitter and all those things, it might be Flows For You or Flows For You Pod. Just do both and you'll figure it out. I also have a link tree up here so you can check that out. But and it looks like we're gonna start streaming on Twitter too, so that'll happen next week. And also, as you see, I'm slowly rebranding the show, so I have a new logo and we'll have new everything here. And the next week we'll have new everything. So I'm looking forward to that. And thank you so much for everybody supporting us and letting us do our thing. And I think that's all, Genesis. We don't have Trey to do the cool beat thing, but I'm going to do something silly I've never done. So you're going to give me 3 words, and I'm going to sing you a song. I'm going to sing you a song about the 3 words that you give me to close out the show.
Awesome. Masterpiece, talented, gifted.
Okay. And here's Scout doing a song. Now I could stand here like I'm a masterpiece. I still don't understand where I go. Only if I can't think I'm talented. Only if I had to pick my nose. Did you understand where I gotta go now? I could chase my son all around Walmart and scream like, son, please come back. And he's like, Daddy, I just had a heart attack. And I'm like, that's weird because you're 4 years old, son. And he's like, oh, I'm just playing. And I forgot what the 3rd word was. What was it? Say it again, please.
It was masterpiece, gifted, and talented.
You said gifted, and my son just heard I get gifts. I was like, oh, I know, and now we can't uplift. We went to Goodwill. He was like, give me a toy. And I was like, no, you are a boy. I don't know why I said that like that, if I know. But that's my song, A Masterpiece Flow.
Wow, wow, wow.
There
I'm
you
not
go.
a singer, but that was kind of dope in comparison to me. And I would say, this girl is on fire.
What was it? Was it that Adam Sandler movie? And the kid is like, this homework's on fire, this underwear's on fire, something's on fire. It was funny. Anyways, that was random. But thank you so much, Genesis. Stay on so we can talk for a second. But thank you so much, everybody else. And I hope you have an awesome, awesome day. Here's the outro.
Are you looking for a different kind of podcast? How about informative and clean? It will make you laugh. Scout and Trey, yeah, that's what we do. We got a little funny thing, keeping it true. Hey, we take your topics and all of your ideas and bring in a guest and we answer them there. Then we make a freestyle rap and do it for you. Yeah, that's what we do. Yeah, that's what we do. Yep, flows for you.
Flows for you.
This is what we do now. This is what we do. Say it flows for you. Flows for you. This is what we do now. This is what we do. Say it flows for you. Flows for you. This is what we do now. This is what we do. Say it flows for you. Flows for you.
I think it's because I have 2 StreamYards up, actually.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, I never ended the show, guys. Sorry. Bye.